There's a very common misconception about freedom that is popular, and that is that freedom is being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want, with whoever I want. And yes, that seems like freedom. But you know what? The more of that kind of freedom you have, and especially if it's deeply rooted, it's not a superficial kind of freedom, but you've really built the freedom to do what you want, when you want, how you want, with whom you want, and any other you wants that you want to add into that, the more you realize that if you make a powerful choice about what you want, you can't any longer necessarily just do what you want, when you want, however you want, with whoever you want. For example, I have made a choice to run a business. I chose it from my own freedom because I wanted to, and that means I can't go to the beach every day. I would love to go to the beach every day, but if I did that, I would sacrifice my prior choice, my bigger desire, which is to run my business. So I go to the beach when I can, but I prioritize my business. My business demands certain things of me. Now, I can continue to make choices. I could say I'm only going to work a certain number of hours a week. Or my particular choice is I'm not going to let my business sacrifice my well-being. So I put a priority on well-being as well as doing business because that's important for me. That then, in a way, means that I have more things that I need to do to take care of my well-being. So the feeling of I can do what I want, when I want, however I want, with whomever I want, feels like I'm constantly free in any moment. And at one level, that is always true of everybody. But of course, there are consequences to the choices that we make. And therefore, that feeling, that it creates an illusion, it creates a misconception. Freedom is really the freedom to make choices that are meaningful and significant for you, that enable you to make other choices about what you do, when you do it, how you do it, with whom you do it. So freedom is the ability to make choices. It's actually a freedom of consciousness. Consciousness is your ability to make decisions, to make choices that change your reality. And so technically, I could say the words exactly the same way. I choose to do what I want, how I want, when I want, with whomever I want. But every choice that I make limits that freedom and opens it up again. So I think it's important to recognize what freedom really is, and that you are actually already experiencing that. You may just not realize what choices you've made in the past.